Welcome to the Pulse of the Heartland podcast. This is our Monday night funcast. Little NFL Week 14 recap. A lot went on this week. Big news tonight happening right now as we speak in Monday Night Football with Kyler Murray going down. So a lot of topics to hit here. So we'll get this thing going. But Ryan, what do you got there? What are you sipping on?
I promised my wife I would finish this up. It's empty now. So I had the Balvenie Caribbean in here. So we're going to finish this tonight.
Nice.
And we can fill it up with something different. She says we have plenty of options to fill up here. I am probably just going to go buy something. Why not, right?
Yeah, I'm on your side here, Ryan. I hope she's watching and hears this, but I'm on your side.
Thank you, Trent. Thank you.
Yes.
I knew you'd support me. So yeah,
Yeah.
we got some finishing up the old Balvenie here.
So where did you pick that up? Is that something you just get at the liquor store there in Sturgis, or?
Yeah, but this was my nice wedding present from my wife.
Nice.
It's got a set of four glasses too. So she knows the way to my heart.
If she got that for you to make her happy, you need to keep that thing filled.
Mm-hmm.
You can't be not using it.
That's true. That was a great point.
See?
And at one point, this was probably my most expensive bottle of scotch that I've had. That has definitely been surpassed since then. So,
speaking of the liquor store there in Sturgis, I did look up last week because the NFR was on. So I watched that the last 10 nights. And they always advertise Gold Buckle beer.
Oh yeah.
And you cannot find, it's not like I had to go to their website and do a store locator, and there's two places in Sturgis you can get it. So when we're out there January 13th, 14th, and 15th, I'm picking me up some Gold Buckle beer.
Is it at Sturgis Liquor?
Yeah.
So have you ever had Gold Buckle?
Mm-mm.
It's basically Coors Light, but it's good. It does taste good. It's just your typical light beer, but yeah, I enjoy drinking it.
As long as it makes me feel like a cowboy while I'm drinking it. I mean,
it makes me yeehaw over here.
I mean,
there you go, Gold Buckle beer.
Yep, that's it. I mean, you've got to bring your cowboy boots out anyway, since we're going to go to Red Dirt Fest, so you may as well drink some Gold Buckle with it.
I mean, I got
I need to buy tickets.
Up North Outlaws hat. I got the Turnpike Troubadour shirt on right now. I mean, I need a Gold Buckle beer in my hand right now.
You do.
This is the most cowboy I've ever been.
I still need to buy tickets, so I will get on that here soon. Good thing it's general admission.
Yeah, you just let me know. I'll Venmo you.
All right. Good. I don't want to break the bank tonight.
Nah. Bryant, what are you sipping on?
Oh, a little Diet Mountain Dew and a little water. I don't say I drank a little bit this weekend, so just trying to recover here. It's Monday, for Christ's sakes.
What was going on this weekend? Just any occasion?
Oh no, I would say just drinking a little bit. Just here at my place, I would say while smoking meats as well. Just did another pork loin. This one, I bought from Fairway, which their meat is always good, but it caught me off guard because the pork loin I bought it in the normal packs, like you'd see kind of those half loins from Hormel, and it's one solid piece. And I freaking open it up, and it's two flat loins. So like I don't know. One of them turned out too dry. One of them was fine. I think I undercooked it, but I would say there's a few things I needed to probably, that's the fun part of it. The meat still turns out delicious 99% of the time, but it's tinkering with your own way of doing it. One thing I was struggling with is I couldn't find one of those just small spritzing bottles. Mm-hmm. So I have like those like industrial cleaner size spritzers for like apple juice to like spray on there. I need to find something a little more compact, but
you got the whole bottle of apple juice going on there,
like a gallon of it, just ready to. I think there's some guys that go a little too extreme when they're smoking meats. Like I've been watching a lot more YouTube to get more tips and stuff. And there was a guy that bought a very small size, like one of those weed killer buckets, He was using that to spray apple juices. I was like, okay, guy, like I get it's a very big smoker, but you'll need to, he like spraying inside of his huge box smoker. It's like just be normal, man. Like just compensating there.
I just use a hair one, a hair water deal. Like when you get a haircut, that's all I use.
Yep.
Yeah.
See, that's what I was looking for, but I couldn't find one that's small. And I was at Menards, so I mean, they're not going to really have that type of thing. But yeah, I mean, like I said, one turned out dry, one turned out fine. I'm still tinkering with it, getting used to how long it takes to cook. Because I realize I'm starting too late in the day as well. I'm starting to like a loin at like 3 p.m, and then at like 8 p.m. I'm like, geez, I'm trying to get stuff wrapped up tonight, and I'm still waiting for it to get to 135, 140 or something.
It always takes longer than you expect.
Smoking starts in the morning.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sometimes around midnight, and you put it on there, and you're still going till 5 o'clock in the next evening.
See, that's where I don't know if I'd ever get into like smoking a brisket or like ribs or something. I'm slowly working up there. I think the next thing I got to use that grill again, and I'll probably do just some pork chops. And Joey mentioned getting like a metal injector and being able, you know what I'm saying, help a little bit with keeping it moist in there too.
Yep.
So
yeah, those are great for pork butts.
Yep. So it's just one of those. The project I'm slowly getting into it again, or slowly accumulating all the stuff you need for smoking.
Yeah, no, that's the good thing about smoking. It's just trial and error and trying figuring out what you like, and next time it'll be better. Like if it's good this time, you figured it out.
Yep, I would say first time using apple juice rather than I kind of basted my first one with butter and it kept it really moist. So I don't know. I'll have to try the apple juice again, see if I like that or if I need to get something. Maybe use apple cider vinegar or something, and really, like you said, just keep dinking around with it.
Yeah.
Hey, Bryant, welcome to the club.
Yes.
Yeah, I've been waiting outside the club for a little while, but I would say my little smoker, it's getting the job done so far. It's just like I said, it's just one of those. Honestly, you buy the meat and you're like, okay, this Saturday is just going to be. I got other stuff going on, but that's going to be the continuous project while I've been watching football or whatever it is. So
yeah, I just did a couple. Butts this last weekend for some pulled pork and ended up being awesome, but I wanted to do it the weekend prior. I went to both grocery stores in town and nobody had anything. It all sold out. And I ended up having to go to Rapid to take my daughter to an appointment and found one for $45 at Safeway. I'm just like, no, hell no. Yeah. I picked it up and looked at it and I go, holy shit. And the person beside me was like, okay. And so then this week I went to the store in town here and found two of them. They're $12 each. So I was like, you get a lot of meat for that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know what the upcharge was for at Safeway, but
they're going to make their money off it. That's for sure.
They had a golden pig there or something.
Yeah, that seems a little steep for that.
Yeah. Trent, what are you having up there?
Oh, just sipping on a Busch Light. Nothing fancy. I thought about, I didn't smoke anything this weekend, but I thought about I should. After I'm done with the Busch Light, maybe I'll go get it. I haven't drank any of my smoked bourbon yet. So maybe I'll just have it's just Jim Beam. I would never drink Jim Beam straight, but that's what I smoked the first time on my smoker when I smoked whiskey, and it was pretty good. So I can drink that straight when it's smoked. So
when you come here and visit next month, I expect you to drink all the Lagavulin.
I might, since you won't, man. Lagavulin the best.
Got a full bottle here for you to drink down.
So disappointed in you.
You may not feel good after the weekend, but
Is there any way we can sneak that into Red Dirt Fest?
I'm guessing probably not. But I know I wouldn't be drinking it anyway, so
we'll figure out a way.
Yeah. But hey, I missed you guys. It's been a couple weeks since I've been on. I'm finally feeling a little better, and I swear I haven't been okay. I've been sick for like a month straight. It just seems like it's our house nonstop. So I'm happy to finally be back on.
All right, well, we missed you, bud.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, I was
thanks.
off the week before you were off last week. It's been like 3 weeks since I've seen you.
I know it's been sad, but hey,
Yeah.
we're back and better than ever.
Here we are.
I trimmed my beard and everything. It's just it's looking good.
Yeah, well, I shaved too, so
I'm still on like I still need a haircut like 2 months
Wow.
ago, but hey, you know,
grow it out. Looks great.
I'm getting a mullet for Red Dirt Fest, bud.
Hey, there you go. That ship has sailed for me. I'm not going to be able to grow a mullet in a month. Sorry.
Bummer.
Yeah. So, well, let's jump into this thing. Actually, no. Let's hit him with the socials. One of you two take Joey's job here.
I'll jump in. Instagram, Twitter, and now Twitch at Heartland Pulse. Facebook and YouTube, Pulse the Heartland. And then we do have a couple outlets that have helped us expand a little bit. Let's Talk Sports at Let Talk Sport on Twitter. And then In the Zone, you can either catch them at In the Zone Media 1 on Twitter, or it's inthezone.studio on in any web browser.
That's right. Heartland Pulse. It's in the zone.
It's so.
And don't forget about Wager a Day. Go check out Wager a Day if you're a degenerate gambler like us who bets on literally every NFL game. Go to Wager a Day and put some bets in.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
I would say let's talk about this week's bet. I didn't even look at the spreadsheet, so I don't know how bad I did, but Bryant apparently made it seem to be pretty ugly for all of us.
Other than Trent, which he's been fucking flying through. Like we've all been like, can anyone catch up? Maybe I caught up like 3. I came back within 3 a game or so. I made up a 3-game stretch, and then I've dropped like 8 games in the last 2 weeks. Clark, I think, was right below me. I think Trent was the only one that had a clear winning record, and everyone else was not even remotely close to 500. It was atrocious. I don't know if either of you have been able to pull it up just yet.
So this week, Bryant, you were 4-8.
Yep.
Well, we still have a game to go. It's Monday Night Football.
Yeah, but I mean, I had New England -2, and they're playing a backup quarterback in the Cardinals, and they're still losing by a touchdown. It's like, what are we? Can't win to lose this week, dude.
Clark, 5-7. He's got the Arizona money line here.
Looking good for him.
Joey, 3-9, and he's got New England, 1.5. So he's staring 3-10 right in the face.
Yep.
Ryan, also 3-9.
Ugh.
You have the over 40. You have the over 44. That's not looking too bad at the moment.
What's the score even?
7-13. And I also have New England 1.5,
Great.
but I am 8-4.
Yeah, 8-4. I mean, you're the only one above 500, and of course, so if I win and make it respectable, a little behind 500, then of course you're 9-4.
So does it automatically add our wins and losses in this first page after the week?
Yeah, I've been adding the.
Oh no, you have. Okay, yeah, I see that.
Oh, hold on. You might actually. I will double check that real quick.
The only thing that matters though is in our pick'em, NFL Expert 69 is still leading by 5, and Trent 6 behind him. So that's the only thing that matters.
If we start something like that next year, we got to promote that weekly because my God, I forgot about that week too. Just terrible.
No, it does add them because I had 108 wins last week when we were potting, and I'm at 116 and I'm 8-4. So yeah, it adds it. Yep.
Oh, okay. We just needed to reaffirm once again. Trent's at 116 wins.
Yes. Bryant is 8 behind me. Please, somebody challenge me here.
I think this week, since I'm so awful, like just god awful, I think I'm just going to do all team totals over under this week. Pick a team in a game and do all team totals. I think that's probably like the only thing that won this week was team totals.
I mean, no offense. At this point, you could even just do, I'm just going to bet the unders on all 16 games, and then it just makes your life a little bit easier, and
You might go 500.
I only
Yep.
did one this week. And I lost that one. So I talked too soon. But if I would have went like 10-0, I think.
You think so, huh?
Yeah.
All right. Well, let's jump into some games here. Kansas City, we'll say holds off Denver here. Brian, I'll let you take this away because I know you've got some things to say.
Yeah, and and this is just the spoiled Chiefs fans talking, but I mean, this is looking like a bad Chiefs team right now with this defense. Offense is still amazing, but you can't. I mean, we've seen it how many times in the league where you have the top ranked one side of the ball and the worst ranked other side of the ball. You're not going to win in the postseason, whether you have a great offense and no defense or great defense and no offense. So I mean, the joke all year has been, well, this Broncos offense is straight garbage, and they put 28 points in us, and the only reason why they didn't compete was because Russ Wilson had that pretty nasty tackle like near the goal line, and did you see that giant knot on his head when he was walking off the field?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it looked pretty bad. Now, I would say kind of some of the current concerns and questions you guys put in here, and I appreciate it. Because with Mahomes having 3 interceptions, was that a concern? I would say no. I mean, the guy is the guy is so improbably good in everything he does. When he does something that a normal quarterback will have every once in a while, it's like, oh my god, is he falling apart? I mean, just a normal quarterback day, but.
They still scored 34 with 3 interceptions. That's freaking remarkable.
Yeah.
Exactly. So it's just like 3 interceptions. He's still putting up 34 points. Now, 7 of that was a pick 6 by the defense. So but still, I would take 27 points with 3 interceptions every time. You're still putting up the points, but the defense is continuing to be a disappointment where they, will play these teams and any other team can create the pressure and can hold them to, especially this Broncos team, 3 to 14 points is the common, and we allow 28 points, and we allow them to get momentum in this game. They just look terrible. Excuse me. I mean, the other thing that I would probably just say is, I mean, really, at this point, I hope we start looking for I would say hope to get a better running back. I think McKinnon does well. I think we need to get rid of Clyde Edwards-Helaire, and I think we just need to get another running back that's not going to cost us too much money, so we can improve around Mahomes. Because to be honest, in our system, I guess I struggled to figure out what I was going to say there because Andy Reid, he never has a top tier running back. He's got the Brian Westbrooks. He's got these guys that you're going to check down to, and we don't overly rely on the run, but. I don't know. We need to continue improving that defense because Mahomes is lifting up these. We got rid of Tyreek, and he's lifting up these other receivers and doing the job. It's the defense and Spags that keeps disappointing us every single year. I can't really think of me and Clark were texting back and forth, but I mean, honestly, we've seen the Chiefs go to the AFC Championship the last 4 years. I don't know if we make it this year. The AFC is super competitive right now, and our defense, if they don't get their heads out of their ass the last few weeks and start making adjustments, which this part of the year, what you got, and it's just, I don't know if we make the AFC Championship this year because our defense is such a liability right now.
I'd gladly send Dalvin Cook to you guys.
Yeah. Who's your backup besides Dalvin?
Alexander Madison,
and then
Ty Chandler. Well, no, actually, Ty Chandler, who's a rookie, who looked really good this preseason, looked absolutely great this preseason. So,
yeah,
I don't know. Honestly, we'll talk about it when we get to our game. But I like Pacheco though. He seems like I just love his attitude on the field. When I watch him, I'm just like I just love his demeanor.
So I think if we can have Pacheco, if we could bring McKinnon back for the right price, and if we can draft just another who's used to being in our type of system in college, if we can just get a couple, just all we need is young running back bodies. We don't need to have the Derrick Henry out there because it doesn't fit in our offense. But I mean, we just need to. I don't know. There's a couple times where, and credit to Denver's defense, they are very good. But their offense is so atrocious that they don't. I mean, they can't get anything done other than this game where our defense looks even worse and Russ looks like his old self again.
There's a thing that I saw that if they scored like 15 points a game, they'd be like 9-1 at one point or something like that.
Yep. I mean,
That's how good their defense is.
I mean, that's like, imagine if you're an Iowa Broncos fan or an Iowa State Broncos fan. I mean, it's the exact same thing where their offense is so disappointing that why should this defense have to suffer through that, you know? So, I don't know. Again, we're still the number 2 seed, so we're tied with Buffalo. Maybe Buffalo can trip up, and because like I said, I think we need the 1 seed and we need the home field advantage if we're going to get to the Super Bowl again.
Buffalo I had Buffalo as my AFC team beginning of the year, but they just don't seem as dominant as what everyone thought they would be. And they don't have the experience of getting to the big game yet. So maybe they can break through this year, but it just seems like when they get to that point, they just kind of flop every season.
Yeah. Well, it's because guess what? Because they've had to go through Arrowhead every time. So, I mean, it's going to be a lot different when you're dealing with the Bills Mafia in Buffalo, you know? So, I don't know. But again, even if Buffalo gets the bye, are they going to be able to handle if the Bengals win the AFC North, or are they going to be able to go or even host a team like that can put up some points? I mean, I don't know what's going on in the AFC North if the Ravens want to try and win this thing without Lamar. I think the Browns are still technically in it, right?
Yeah, I don't think they're eliminated yet.
We can look at the playoff rankings later. But anyways, like I said, I think the only way Chiefs can make the Super Bowl is if it goes through Arrowhead. And right now, I'm not too impressed. They're still 9-3, but I'm just rehashing it. Great offense, terrible defense.
Right. I mean, you're used to that. We got to see that every Saturday, just flip-flopped.
Yeah.
Great defense, terrible offense.
Yeah. So either way, I can never just have a complete football team that I'm watching. I have to have and both teams have to be shitty at kicking too. God forbid we get the easy points or Harrison. That's just me being mean. Harrison has had a great year compared to kickers of the past of the Chiefs. It's just he's been slightly worse than what his best has been. So
yeah.
But like I said, hopefully they can tighten up, and hopefully the Bills can choke a game or two, and we can take the lead and take the 1 seed. So
they still have to play Cincinnati and Miami.
The Bills, they're vulnerable. I mean, they're beatable.
Dude, I actually just saw the highlights happen right there. The Bills, I like how hard they play, but dude, Josh Allen took that huge hit on that hurdle or jump. That's not going to be sustainable. He can't keep doing that. Because even though he's younger, I mean, Mahomes had that where his ankles got injured and he's out for 4 games. He keeps running like that. He's going to potentially be out for the 2 to 4 week stretch, and that team without him is not going to be good.
Yeah. Oh, it'll be terrible. Case Keenum's not going to take him.
Hey, he's taken a team to the conference championship before.
That was true, but that was 5 years ago.
That was only the NFC though, so it's like June League.
Yeah. That was 5 years ago even. I mean, you're talking about a guy who was never really a star in the first place, and you add 5 more years to him when he was already kind of middle of the road.
Yeah, that was in 2018.
Shit. Well, that's about as good of a transition as we're going to have. Case Keenum on the Vikings. Let's just get this one out of the way, man.
Yeah, I like your bullet point here, Ryan. It's just Vikings cruise to a 34-23 loss. Like,
yeah,
I don't get it. Like they don't put their foot on the gas until they have to. Like, oh shit, we're down in the second half. Okay, let's start playing. Like, be aggressive from the beginning. The defense is giving up 1,000 yards a game. It feels like defense or the opposing offenses are just doing whatever they want. It's frustrating.
I was pissed off watching this game because the first half we literally ran on every single first down. Like it wasn't even they didn't even try to hide it. It was always single back, under center. It was never hidden. And I'm sorry, I like Dalvin Cook as a person. He's a good player, but he reminds me of Adrian Peterson when he was past his prime. He gets the ball, dances around trying to find a hole, loses yards. He doesn't just go try to get through. I'm going to dance a little bit and lose a couple yards. So we were behind the sticks every single run. The first half. The second half, they finally let Kirk and JJ do their work because they had to. And Kirk had over 400 yards. JJ set the franchise record for most yards for a wide receiver. So why are we not doing that? I don't understand.
Yeah, and the Dalvin Cook thing, it's like, oh, he's got 28 whole yards the whole game. It's working. Pete pounding him. No, it's not.
He didn't. Was that including passing? Because I saw that he had 15 rushes with 23 yards.
It might have been, yeah. Well, yeah, because I had 8 fantasy points to him. He did have a rushing touchdown, so he had in the 20s anyway.
We were pushing it and pushing it. We didn't even see Madison, and Madison is a great running back. If we're backup, I think he could be starting for a lot of teams. And like I said, I like Dalvin, but his contract is ridiculous for what we really need to use him. I just think we need to move on from him. And I have it as a bullet point. We have allowed over 2,000 yards in the last 5 games, and that's been to Mike White, Mac Jones, Jared Goff. Who else? What other mediocre quarterback have we let that happen with? I can't remember. Oh, Dak Prescott, or Dak's good though. So, But I mean, it's ridiculous how bad our defense is. Finally, I watched the today's press conference with O'Connell, and he's just like, we have to do something. We can't completely change what we're doing, but we can't keep doing what we're doing. So, as far as putting more pressure, doing more blitzing, whatever, at least he's aware of it, and hopefully he talked with Donashell, because boy. It's 3rd and 5, and our corners are 10 yards off the wide receivers. So I do not get that. It's stupid.
Yeah, the defense, they play so soft on the receivers. They just like, here's a free 5 yards.
Mm-hmm.
Here's it adds up. That's first downs.
And here's the other silly thing is we have Zadarius Smith and Danielle Hunter, 2 guys. Zadarius was leading the league in sacks for a while there. Now we haven't gotten any lately. We're talking about 2 great rushing defensive ends, and we're dropping them back in coverage more often than we're blitzing or pressing with them. I do not understand it. And if you don't have the confidence in your corners, that's one thing. But 10 yards seems a little crazy. I mean, maybe we shouldn't press them, but why are we giving 10 yards of free space every single time?
Yeah, like I said, that's just free yards, and it adds up to first downs, and they march down the field. Now, I noticed that again at the end of the first half. I think the Vikings scored maybe, and then the Lions, we play prevent defense, and they marched right down the field. Now we got lucky and they missed a field goal.
Yeah,
but that soft defense just chunk yards, and then all of a sudden, oh hey, they're on the 25-yard line.
Yeah, I had to laugh though, because there was one drive where we let them have the deep pass touchdown. And that might have just been one play. I can't remember. And then I texted in the zone group and said, watch us respond with a run. And sure as hell, that's exactly what we did. And so I'm sorry, Justin Jefferson is the best wide receiver in the NFL. No one is going to change my mind on that. That guy is incredible. Why are we only pushing it so much? He had 95 yards the first half. Didn't even realize it because he is just so quiet. Why are we not using him more? Like, we need to be a pass first offense. I understand the run to open up the pass, but sometimes you can pass to open up the run too. I mean, it's just stupid. I don't know. Hopefully this was a learning thing. It seemed like from the very beginning, very low energy, kind of like we should come in and beat these guys easily. Hopefully it opened their eyes up. And again, we're talking about a 10-3 team. this is 10-3 is way better than what I could have predicted. They might be the worst 10-3 in the history of the NFL that everyone says. But 10-3 is still 10-3. I don't see. I think we're getting Darisaw and Bradbury back, which missing Bradbury, that's a big deal. So we're getting him back for the Colts game. Harrison Smith was out. That you could tell we missed him big time. So I think we'll come back and beat Indianapolis pretty easily this on Saturday.
Yeah, and I put this in there that I think we both saw this one coming. I know we both kind of said it last week. I still took the Vikings money line on this, but like I said, it wouldn't surprise me if it was this letdown game and we lose. And sure enough, that's what happened. And the Lions have been scoring at will, so it's not shocking.
Well, and you also had the benefit of playing them once earlier this year, and they were up 17 points. So you know exactly what they can do against your offense. This time they just didn't choke it away.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we somewhat had a shot to make a comeback in the fourth again. The problem is we let one of their tackles get out when their linemen get out and get a pass. That he was wide open. There was nobody on there. You see a 300-some pound guy doing play action, and let's not worry about him at all. And it was great job by Detroit.
That's what sealed the game. Yeah, the lineman comes in as an eligible receiver. They put him in motion. The pass goes to him. There is nobody around him.
It was third. What was it? It was third and mid. I mean, they could have stopped him and got the ball back.
It was 3rd and 7.
Big boy, he was bumbling and stumbling to get that first down. But see, what I don't get though in those situations is when you are a lineman like Sewell and you have a lineman number, you have to tell them, I am eligible for a pass, and they announce it to the defense. So you'd think someone, if they're saying, hey, he's eligible, okay, they have to watch the motion. Would you not keep an eye on him at that point? I don't know. I've merely played at the high school level, but like you said, though, when you're playing 11 professionals on defense and you allow a 300-pound man to catch a ball and get 7 yards on you, I think some questions do need to be asked.
Yeah, and I'm very. Go ahead.
I was going to say, and the Lions, they converted on a fake punt. Like, they had like a 35-yard play on a fake punt. Like, that was super disappointing. I'm just like, typical Vikings.
Well, and then the overthinking things. We were, on the 3-yard line or whatever, and we tried to do a pass with Cook, and Cook fumbles. I'm sorry, but I'm over Cook. Like, he seems like a great dude, but I am just so over him. I'm so over him. The offense trying to be ran through him. It's Kirk. Kirk needs some respect. He really does. The game yesterday was fantastic. He played a damn near perfect game. That's all. I guess that's all I can really say. I'm happy that KOC made the comments he did today about the defense needing to be changed up and things needing to be changed. So hopefully we'll see more aggression on Saturday.
Yeah, so that is refreshing to hear that out of O'Connell, because like in years past, with Zimmer and like the defense just gets torched like this every game, and they're just like, it's fine.
Yeah.
So I'm looking at Alvin Cook's game logs here. He's only gone over 100 yards twice this season, and he hasn't done it since November 13th versus the Bills.
And it's because he had 2 big runs. I'm guessing the Bills and Miami are the 2 games.
It was the Bills and Arizona.
Okay, he did have a good game with Arizona, but the Bills game, he was getting stuffed all game too until he broke that big run.
Yeah, so the Bills, he had 119 yards. He had an 81-yard run.
Yeah,
so how many rushes
did he
yards.
How many
14.
total rushes did he? Yeah, so
14. So in the other 13 carries, he had 38 yards.
I think
so.
I mean, we're going to be in cap trouble next year. I think you have to keep Cousins. I don't see any better option out there, and I truly believe he's a top 7 quarterback in the league. I'll die on that hill. I don't care. Harrison Smith, we saw how important he is yesterday. He might be the oldest safety in the league, but he's important. Dalvin Cook is the next big hit. I think he's got to go. And then Adam Thielen too. I think Adam Thielen needs to restructure. He had a pretty good game yesterday, but he is not the same as he was even last season.
Yeah.
So
No.
we're gonna have some cap casualties next year.
Yeah, Cook, 4 games this season. His longest run was 9 yards. So he's had a game 5 yards was his longest run this past Sunday.
Yeah.
So
I mean, is he just not hitting the hole, or is the line not providing as well? Like, because
It's probably both. So our line grades very well with pass protection. They're they're built for pass protection, I guess. Their run protection or whatever you want to call it, run blocking isn't good. So the line's not necessarily built for it. But like I said earlier, he kind of just dances around looking for the big one. He doesn't just run to where he's supposed to, which I get it, but sometimes a 1 yard gain going through a no hole is better than the 3 yard loss trying to dance around and get something.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, I'm looking at. I mean, Dalvin Cook is 6th in the league, but I think if you have Kirk Cousins and now you have JJ, or you have Justin Jefferson, I think you need to do what the Chiefs did. You just need to get rid of your running back. Honestly, do it by committee, and you need to get another top wide receiver on the opposite side of him. And Thielen can be a solid third piece in there, but I would say, how long do you have Hawkinson for?
This was his 5th game.
Do you have him next year for
Fourth
sure,
one?
or does he have to resign?
Yes, I believe we do have him one more season. We'll have to pick up his extension or his whatever his option, but yeah, we'll have him.
Okay, so I mean, if you've got 2 solid receivers in TJ and JJ, if you can get Thielen figured out and do the running backs, you need to solidify your line because your money's going into Kirk Cousins. You need to solidify your line and solidify that defense, or bring in a new defensive coordinator and solidify it. And I think you're going to be just fine at that point because you don't need to. In these games, it's nice that you can see an offense that can put up these 23 and 30 plus points. But if you're going to allow 30 points, it doesn't fucking matter. Same thing with the Chiefs game that we just got done complaining about. You can score 27 points in offense all you want, but if the defense allows 28, then you're SOL.
That's the thing is I see a lot of people still shit on Kirk Cousins. And most of the time we're scoring 28, 30 points. So we only score 23. But you should win almost every game that you score 28 or 30 points. There shouldn't be any question about that. We're not. It's one possession games every time. And it's always, well, Kirk, could have done this. He should have done that. What do you want the offense to do? Do you want us to have to score 40 points every single game? We've literally allowed our last 5 opponents to score 4 or put up 400 yards against us. Is that the offense's fault? Yeah, maybe we could stall out less often, do a little better middle of the game, but they're still putting up numbers. They're still putting up points. What else can you ask for?
Yeah, and stalling out, that also means they're going to have to run the ball more. Well, we just said that it's not working.
Yeah.
Yeah, David says, Thielen's a better slot receiver, so getting a better number 2 can allow Thielen to use his highest skill. I agree with that 100%.
I really
they
think
should use KJ Osborne more. Like,
I think they need to use Jalen Reagor more. Last week he had an awesome catch against the Jets. Yeah, he had a great catch against the Jets. I think really that guy is so fast. Just put him on the outside and have him run in a straight line past people. I'd do it.
Give him the Tyreek Hill treatment.
That's exactly right.
All right. You got anything to add to the Vikings here? Or you want to move on?
I'm glad we just got our bitching about our teams out of the way, so we might have some enjoyable podcasts right after this now.
Now, I've just started, Brian.
The next game is what everybody's looking for here. Here we go.
Yeah.
Bryant and I are rock solid right now.
Mm-hmm. I'm Brock Hart over here.
Brock BCB.
Yeah, you know me.
Brock Purdy, you hate to see it, makes Tom Brady look like the old man he is.
Mm-hmm.
Beat down.
Beat his ass. It was so bad, Fox took the game away. They were up 35-0, and Fox said, we like filming the GOAT on the TV screen, but Tom Brady's losing by so much. Right? I'm sorry, GOAT. We're gonna have to go to the next game. So, yeah,
Who's the GOAT? Brock
Purdy, of course.
Okay,
Oh,
gotcha.
Okay. Okay, you guys are going a little overboard here.
No, I would say we again. This is we're going to talk about the Ravens later, and that's about the worst thing that could happen to Lamar. This is the worst thing that could happen to Jimmy G. I think once out of there, anyways. And Trey Lance, that's the worst thing that could happen. Is hey, you can just insert Mr. Irrelevant, and he is like the most efficient passer for the day and has 3 touchdowns. I guess we can just overpay everyone else around him, create a structure, and like every other team that's really won the last few years, you're going to have a solid rookie or within the rookie contract, and we're going to solidify the defense and offensive and all the players around him. And then the one player that will get his money in 5 years, you can just underpay for 5 years and overpay everyone else. That's exactly what's happened in San Fran. And surprise, when you have 2 all-star receivers, an all-star running back, and an all-star defense, you don't need to be Mahomes. You can just check down and 185 yards.
Yeah, Brock, he did have the highest passer rating in the league yesterday. Yeah,
yes, sir.
Crazy.
I think all of us in our text group agreed that Brock Purdy starting scared us more than Jimmy G starting did.
Yeah,
and there was one last week when Brock had his first game time playing. There was a throw into the end zone to Christian McCaffrey that McCaffrey dropped. My guess is McCaffrey is like, I didn't know we could make passes on this team like that and wasn't expecting it.
Oh, now check down here, bud. What are you doing?
Yeah. So now it's like I don't want the Vikings to face this team in the playoffs. Absolutely not. I think they're more dangerous with Brock. Yeah.
It's just crazy. Like all the media stuff that we watch is just like so surprised and Mr. Irrelevant. And me and Bryant, I'm sure, sitting here like we watched him do this literal same thing the last 4 years. Like I'm not shocked.
So it's for me, it's more I'm surprised how good he's playing, but I'm not surprised he's playing better than Jimmy G.
Yeah,
that's where I'm at.
Yeah.
But here's the next question here, Iowa State guys, and I'm going to be there. It's going to turn on me really quick. Did Iowa State waste Brock Purdy's college career?
They didn't develop him as they needed to.
I agree with that. I don't think they wasted him. I mean, they were very successful with him. I think his first 2 years, they just let him go out there and just sling it.
Yep.
Like he's doing now. And I think they had way better pieces around him his junior and senior year. And then they kind of game plan more for that instead of him just slinging it.
Yeah. And again, some of that, exactly like you said, Trent. Then they started, okay, now you're going to work within the system and you have to, and that check down shit, that isn't what made us successful, why we got to the Alamo Bowl while we overperformed. It was he was gunslinging out there. He was doing the Brett Favre. Yeah, he made some crazy mistakes, but then all you did
was some welfare checks.
Yeah, exactly. But then all you did though is you've still got that game player mentality, but in a check down system, and then all of a sudden, and also he lost some of his better receivers that he had. But then all of a sudden he was making those crazy turnovers, but he didn't have those big plays to supersede it. So then we were losing the close game. So no, I would agree 100% that they did not develop him as a quarterback as we needed. And we also saw that with Hunter Dekkers this year. He can make some outstanding throws. I saw a stat come out today. We left over 300 yards of receiving on the field because of dropped passes. And that's because of again, our receivers weren't used to him allowing him to chuck it deep, and then every time he did, it was butterfingers, But let's not turn this into an Iowa State thing. Let's focus.
No, I was going to say one last thing. Who's the wide receiver that's going into the draft this year?
Xavier Hutchinson.
I think I saw him supposedly being taken around the 32nd pick or something like that. Which hopefully that's the Vikings.
Dude is a stud.
Yeah,
he would be a solid, I think, number 2. I don't know if he's quite number 1. But I think he would be a solid number 2 in the league.
Justin Jefferson, number 1. Hutchinson, number 2. Thielen, third receiver. We just figured it out for the Vikings. You're welcome, Minnesota.
I think we need to worry about our cornerback and linebacker depth before anything.
I'm going to be super pissed if somehow the Packers get him.
Yeah, him and Lazard on the Packers.
Yep.
Yeah.
I have to like the Packers now. This is bullshit.
They had a bye week, so we don't have much to talk about them. But I did see Jordan Love supposedly looking for a trade if Rodgers comes back for a season.
Yeah.
Good. He's looked solid enough. He should get a second shot somewhere else. But I mean, again, if you're not going to get a fair shot there, I mean, Rodgers was doing the same thing when he was younger. If I'm not going to get a fair shot, trade me then.
Yeah.
Yep.
And hopefully he backfires on Rodgers like it did to Favre back in the day, and Rodgers is the one left out.
I personally think if you're the Titans, I think you trade to get Rodgers and get some playmaker at quarterback because I don't think Malik Willis is that yet.
I don't think he will be.
No, I don't know. I hate to discredit a guy that I don't know too much about, but in the couple games when you have to intentionally run Derrick Henry like he was in high school because they don't trust you throwing the ball, that's a very, very bad sign.
When you didn't have a single completion to your wide receiver in a game, that's my sign that you're probably not going to be successful.
I mean, case in point, what's the game we're talking about right now? Brock Purdy, Mr. Irrelevant, the last pick in the draft, is chucking it like no tomorrow. He knows his time might be limited in the league, so he's taking full advantage of it. And here, I mean, that's because why? Because a coach trusts him. So when your coach doesn't trust you, you have zero passes to your wide receivers and check downs and everything else.
So here's the thing with Jimmy G for me. It was in the NFC championships or whatever. The last few seasons they've been in the playoffs. Jimmy G was like trusted to pass like 15 times, or it had like 15 completions. I mean, that just they won by their running game and a strong defense. So that tells me that Jimmy G has
a Chiefs game in the Super Bowl.
Yeah, so that tells me that Jimmy G isn't trusted to throw the ball, that he's 100% a game manager, and they're paying him $20 million a year. Who is going to overpay him again next year? Because there's no way he's with San Francisco.
Titans.
But I mean, you're basically getting the same thing as Tannehill. Tannehill might actually be a little better. I don't know, and he can always play wide receiver too. I don't know if you guys knew that.
Did you know that he was a wide receiver in college? Did you know that?
Oh my God! I'm tired of hearing it.
I think that's the 14th straight week that's got brought up on this podcast.
Woo!
See, I don't know why they legitimately don't run any Wildcat offense, knowing that he might not have the legs that he used to, but like he can legitimately catch. Why don't they do some crazy 2 quarterback sets?
Yeah. I don't know.
So before we go away from this game, we didn't really talk about the game. We just talked about how awesome Brock Purdy is because it's true.
That's all you need to know.
Yeah, well, yeah. So my stat here, Joey's not here to defend himself, so I can take a dig here. Tom Brady all time versus Brock Purdy is 0-1. Tom Brady versus the Atlanta Falcons is 11-0. The Atlanta Falcons have never beat Tom Brady.
That's a tough history, man.
Tom Brady has never beat Brock Purdy.
I would legitimately I don't know how Joey can even say anything nice about Tom Brady. That's like me with Peyton Manning, how much he kicked our ass every single fucking year. The other stat, and I brought it up during my pick 'em, it was one of my 4 correct picks. Cyclones that debut their career versus Hall of Famers are now 2-0. 0-3 versus regular schmucks, but we rise to the occasion versus Hall of Famers.
We ignore those 3.
Yeah.
Yeah, whatever.
Ta-ta.
Yeah. All right, well, let's move on. Ravens beat the Steelers 16-14. I had Steelers covering and winning this game because Lamar Jackson was going to be out. Yep. Now, that goes against my pick and really against Lamar Jackson betting on himself.
Yeah. I mean, look at his season so far this year. He's bet on himself, which I will never get mad at an athlete for.
Yeah,
but you also open yourself up when you have these bad games. And look at, you've had so many games where they've choked in the fourth quarter. That's someone on the defense. That is someone that offense not keeping their pedal to the metal. He's had public outbursts on Twitter about people criticizing his play. And I can tell you, look at last year with the Chiefs when we were talking about Tyrann Mathieu and the defense. If you're focused on Twitter, that means you know that you're doing terribly. You're not doing as good as you could, and you're lashing out at fans. That terrible look. And then a backup comes in and Was it an impressive 2-win victory? Not really. But guess what? He still got the dub. That's better than the losses when you have 17-point leads or double-digit point leads. I don't know if he's ever lost a 17-point. That's the Raiders. But, yeah, this is a terrible look for Lamar right now that the team can skate by without him, and maybe they can just put pieces around him and overpay everywhere else.
Yeah, I mean, we've kind of talked about the whole season, but yeah, Lamar needed to sign whatever was put in front of him this last year. He had that awesome MVP season, but I think most people still kind of put him as a great running back that can throw a little bit. And yeah, this is not a good look for him. He's not going to be out much longer though, so maybe he can come back and raise his stock a little more. But someone will pay for him. I don't know if it's going to be the Ravens. It seems like were already hesitant about it. But yeah, not good. Not good for him.
I'm trying to look up the Ravens' blown leads. This article it's from October 17th when they were 3-3.
In our Twitter. It'll be in there eventually, but I mean that's the remaining 4 games right now.
Oh,
so
gosh.
I mean, sorry, I'm trying to full screen the schedule here, but I mean they got to go at the Browns. The Falcons go on the road to play the Ravens Christmas Eve. Then New Year's Day, the Steelers go to the Ravens, and then the Ravens at the Bengals. I mean, they have 3 divisional opponents left in their game here. In their season.
Well, yeah, and they're going to play Steelers, who they just lost to, the Bengals, who are hitting their stride, and the Browns, who they've got a good defense. So, I mean, in the Falcons, they've played every game close. They could lose every one of these games.
Yeah,
we could go 0-4 here.
I wouldn't say so. I wouldn't if I was a Ravens fan. And again, you pulled out a victory here, but I mean, Lamar. It sounds bad. Lamar better hope they lose a couple of those games so they don't. No, you do need me, because if they somehow, I think he's out until Christmas. If they go 2-0 the next 2 weeks, which Browns and Falcons aren't the greatest, but if they go 2-0 in those 2 games where are probably the easier of 2 to win, and then Lamar comes back and loses the Steelers and Bengals, that's going to be a terrible look.
Yeah. See, in those 2 games, they could win both of them. Wouldn't shock me. They could lose both of them. Also, would not shock me.
So, no, I wouldn't say that. That'll be interesting how that one plays out, man.
Here, this is I have the 4 games. They were leading Miami 35-14 in the fourth quarter. They lost that one. Leading Buffalo 20-3 in the second. They lost that one.
17.
Leading the Giants in the fourth quarter with 6 minutes left, 20-10, lost that one. And leading the Jaguars 19-10 in the fourth quarter with 5:59 left. So,
yep.
So the thing that I was reading was from October. So they were 3-3 at that point. So in their first 6 games, they had held a 10-point lead in the second half in every game, and were 3-3.
So I don't know. I think end of the day, honestly, as much as we're speculating, I think the Ravens still need to pick them up, because in that division you have Watson and Burrow, which Watson hasn't looked great so far. Yep. But I mean, this is only week 2 technically for him, But you have Burrow, you have Pickett. I guess I don't know what he's going to end up being, but I mean, you got to have solid quarterback play in that division to still get out of there,
Or a really good defense, which Ravens have a decent defense, except in the fourth quarter.
Oops. I guess you can't play 75% of the game and win it, I guess. Weird.
Yeah.
Yep. Well, we'll move on to a couple other teams in that division. The Bengals beat the Browns 23-10. I see Ryan noticed that I changed his caption.
Yeah, notice you don't have what I actually put down for that game.
Yeah, I was like, let's. I'll call them the Browns here.
Keep that one off YouTube.
Yeah, I mean, we made it this far. Why should we get canceled now?
There are only 26 of them, Trent. 26.
That's it.
Yeah. Oops.
Never happened. Not one of them.
Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me 26 times, shame on me.
Hint.
Yeah.
And we're talking about completions, folks. We went 26 for 42 for 276 yards. 1 touchdown, 1 interception, but that was not enough for Deshaun Watson to get past Joe Burrow.
Yeah, like
I'd
I said
watch
earlier,
none of this game. I don't have a clue.
Yeah, it's
I
Spanish
saw a
for
little
Joe
bit of it.
Monkey.
The Bengals are hitting their stride. They're getting healthy. Jamar Chase back, Joe Mixon, Joe
Jamar
Burrow's
Chase
looking.
is back to his normal self.
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah. So they're peaking at the right time. That's all I've got to say about the Bengals right now. So,
When we heard this, the Bengals peaking at the end of the year when they needed to, definitely wasn't last year.
yeah, and I guess that's we've always said that about the Patriots when Belichick and Tom Brady were there. It's like they lose a couple games early and they're done. Tom Brady's washed. They make a run at the end of the year. They peak, hit the playoffs, win a Super Bowl. So, I mean, I'm not saying the Bengals are going to win the Super Bowl, but they're going to make a deep run, I would think.
But and also you got to look at. I mean, they got 2 solid running backs. That is such a great feeling. They not only have Mixon that was doing the workload. If something happens to him, or if he's out, it's not like the Titans where you're going, oh fuck, Derrick Henry's out. All of a sudden, you got Perine or
Samaje Perine, yeah,
Perine, where he is just fucking bulldozing everyone. So, no, like you said, they're hitting their stride at the right time. Was Higgins out? It looks like he was, or he didn't play.
Yeah.
But I mean, again, they have such solid weapons all around that one receiver's out. They still got double Jamar at that point, and then you still have to stop 2 running backs that are solid, and then Joe Burrow's solid enough where, and Zach Taylor does an amazing job with, even though their offensive line is shit, to have an offensive scheme to get rid of the ball quickly so he isn't getting sacked like he did all last year.
Yep.
So, nope, they're hitting their stride. The Browns losing with an SA'er, that feels pretty good.
Did he have he couldn't have had the lowest quarterback rating for the second straight week, could he?
No, I don't think so. I think I mean he actually had some decent stats. They just weren't enough.
Yeah. Well, his first week back, he had the lowest quarterback rating in a game his whole career.
I'm sorry. I'm just thinking of everyone is using the one. Anytime Deshaun Watson's involved, everyone uses the same Vince McMahon gif. I'll send it to the group chat here. I would say you can just only assume what it is if you just type in Vince McMahon and just look through them. You'll figure out which one we're talking about with Deshaun here.
All right, moving on. The Bills, they take care of the Jets here, 20-12. I think I had the Jets at 9 here, so it worked out great for me. Now, if the Jets could go down and score 55 field goals like they did versus the Vikings last week, they could have beat the Bills here, but they just did not get that done. Mike White still playing decent, playing better than Jets' other quarterbacks, I would say.
Did you? I'm looking at this hit. I guess somebody said the hit was
folded him in half, dude. Yeah. So
now,
after they scraped him off the turf and got him to the sideline, I saw him after the game saying that he's like, it just knocked the wind out of me, and then they took him back, did X-rays, and they were all negative. No broken ribs or anything. But yeah, that hit was nasty.
So I have the timeline of his Sunday. Left game in second quarter after hit to the ribs, came back in 2 plays later, got hit in the ribs again in the third quarter, and left game second time to get X-rays. Returned at the start of the fourth quarter and finished the game. Once the game was final, he left in an ambulance and was sent to the hospital for testing on potential internal injuries.
Oh yeah, I'm watching that hit. Let's see. Can we get this? If I share my screen here.
Yep, it's full screen
you got
right now.
You got it. Yeah.
But you know it's kind of BS though. Yeah, look at that hit. Now we will all admit if that's a running back or a receiver, that is a very clean tackle. This is a quarterback. Let's be honest. Do you think Tom Brady gets hit like that? That guy doesn't get executed in the middle of the field here. I mean, do you think if that's Mahomes, they don't get away with it? They don't eject the guy? Why is it because it's Mike White gets hit like this that it's fine, but a star quarterback gets hit like that, and that defensive player doesn't see the field for the rest of the year. I think that's bullshit.
Yeah.
How that isn't a roughing the passer. If that's a passer, nothing is roughing the passer.
Yeah, there's been so many weaker hits on the quarterback this year that have gotten roughing the
Like
passer.
the Chargers game last night.
I guess I didn't see that.
Oh, let's see if I can find that. I'll send it to you.
Yeah, if that were Tom Brady,
I don't know. That
were
one kind of got
Mahomes.
me fired up.
Yeah. Yeah, dude folded in half.
Hell, I'd even say if that's Kirk Cousins.
Yeah.
Here, I think I found it.
If that were me, they would have had to stop the game because I'd still be laying on the field in the same place.
Have you? I mean, you've seen Not Another Teen movie, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where the little, like, whatever they call him, Whitey or whatever, that little wide receiver, don't throw it, and he catches the touchdown and they split him in half.
Rip him in half.
It was essentially the same thing, yeah.
Yeah, that was Mike White yesterday.
Essentially the same thing.
Yeah.
I'm gonna send this. Okay, so this was called Roughing the Passer. I'm gonna quickly send this into our Twitter group.
Okay.
This is embarrassing. The fact that this was called Roughing the Passer.
Okay, and this was the Chargers Dolphins. I would say, give me a second. I'll get it pulled up here. Screen. Oh, I don't want the sound on. Oh, sorry. I apologize to everyone that's listening. I would say we're amateurs at this.
I follow a Twitter account. It's called Bad Sports Refs, and they just have a thread of this was called Roughing the Passer. It started October 30th, 2019. I'm looking at it right now, and it's just every week they just add to this thread.
Yeah.
Just terrible.
That's roughing the passer. Pushing Justin, which made him glass.
If you look at the other side, his arm is like right here. I mean, he was nowhere near the head at all. Like it was it's bad.
Yeah. No. But
Mike White
folding like a folding chair is fine.
Yeah. Fold him like a lawn chair, no flag.
That was just a Bill Goldberg spear. Come on, we used to watch wrestling. We know what that's about.
Clean hit.
Right.
We don't want to talk about Cowboys. They ruined the split. I don't want to talk about them. Screw them.
Yeah, they should have gotten beat by the worst team in the NFL yesterday, and I was rooting hard for that to happen. Just for seeding with the Vikings and the NFC. And
we're talking every single week about how this is a professional league and 13.5 points is too big of a spread. And then we watch Dallas get a 16.5 point spread and we're going, yeah, they're going to destroy them. I mean, I felt like such a fucking idiot watching this game.
Weren't the Texans leading basically the whole game?
They should have won.
Yeah, I don't know if they were leading, but again, it was just here's the Cowboys that destroy the Vikings 40-3. Here's the Dallas Cowboys that can score 48 points that do like 4 touchdowns in the fourth quarter, and then you can barely get by the Texans. Yeah. Just insane, man. And maybe some of that's
Cowboys. The Texans scored a field goal to go up by 3 very late in the game, and then the Cowboys went down, and Zeke scored a touchdown with less than a minute left to take a 27-23 lead. So they were losing until a minute left in the game.
I think Houston is on the verge of being a pretty dang good team. I mean, they've taken Dallas down to the wire. They took Philadelphia down to the wire. I think they're on the verge of being a good team. If they just get a few players next season, they might be something.
Yeah. Has Brandon Cook played at all this season, or is he still holding out?
That was I was gonna ask that right before you started talking.
Sorry, bud. But I mean, even with him out, I mean, everything I've heard about this team is they have a solid young core. I mean, that Damian Pierce, I believe, that running back, he's pretty good. I mean, Lovie Smith always has a decent defense, it seems like. I don't know. Again, they allowed 27 points, but the Cowboys have been known to score 40 plus. So I mean, they stopped them enough what they need to. They're a team where if they can get a solid quarterback, not Davis Mills, if they can get a solid quarterback, I think they could be potentially scary, especially in a very winnable AFC South. But
Yeah.
what does every single one of those other teams that wins does? Jaguars, they got Trevor Lawrence now. The Colts, well, they thought they had it in Matt Ryan. The Titans, they're the dominant quarterback force there, and they had Ryan freaking Tannehill.
Yeah. Yeah.
According to this, Brandon Cooks has played in 10 games this season.
Oh, well,
Very
guess he realized
quietly,
more was gonna come
apparently.
up.
No, Lovey Smith was a menace when he was the Chicago head coach. Like they were tough to beat when he was Chicago's head coach. That was one of the biggest surprise firings to me at the time.
I think they just knew he couldn't quite get it done like he was, and then they realized no one can quite get it done over there.
Yeah,
In Chicago, yeah.
Yep.
Well, moving on to another team in that division with the Cowboys, the Eagles. I think they would have loved to see Houston beat the Cowboys. Actually went to Barrel House yesterday here in Sioux Falls and watched the games with an Eagles fan. So
Dirty Bird.
yeah, watched most of that game. Yeah, one of our friends from work, he's from Philly, so big Eagles fan.
did he eat horse poop like the rest of Philly fans do?
No, I don't think they serve that at Barrel House. So
Okay, well, they just find it on the street. So
okay, no horses outside Barrel House yesterday. So we went inside and ate real food. This game 48-22, it wasn't that close.
No.
The Eagles were up way bigger. Giants scored a couple garbage time touchdowns. Saquon again does nothing basically this whole game. Jalen Hurts looked great.
We talked to that. I mean, they got Jordan Davis back, and now to back him up, they got Ndamukong Suh, or however they're doing it. I mean, it was always laughable when they made the dream team with Chip Kelly about 8 years ago. This is the legit dream team now. Again, weird. A young quarterback that you don't have to spend a lot of money on, and you build everything around him.
Hurts has really grown. I kind of looked at him like I looked at Lamar, just whatever. He has grown, and he's great. He's really good.
Yeah, I mean, he's developing year by year, and honestly, I think everyone gets he was a running quarterback. I don't know if he ever was a running quarterback in college, but yeah, I mean, he's honed his skills and he's improved year to year, which, I mean, it feels like we're just bashing on him, but I mean, year to year, can you say there's been a large incremental difference that you see between Lamar 5 years ago and Lamar now?
No, he might be worse, actually.
Yeah. Not like Jalen.
No.
Yeah, I mean, so I don't know, and some of that might be Harbaugh's system. I really don't know, but Eagles, the number one team in the league right now. I don't think anyone has proven they can really stop them. They had the one fluke loss. Who they lose to? I guess not fluke.
Washington.
Washington. So
They've had some close games.
Yep.
Yeah. Jalen Hurts looked great. He spread the ball around too. I mean, A.J. Brown had a touchdown. Devontae Smith had a touchdown. Miles Sanders had a touchdown. So all their playmakers, got the ball. Like it's scary. Anybody can score on that team. Yeah.
The nice thing about their players is they don't eat horse poop like their fans do.
Well, because they're inside the stadium. They can't get to it. Or I think they would.
You just see them on the sidelines eyeing the exit.
I will never forget that. They punched a horse and then ate horse poop. So there's something against horse.
Well, the fans said he was going to eat horse shit if they won the Super Bowl. I'm going to tell you right now. Hey, Kirk Cousins wins your Super Bowl this year. You have to have the large spoon, a tablespoon of horse shit. Are you kidding me? That's the easiest. Give me the spoon right now, and I'll take another Super Bowl with Mahomes. I will. Every year, if that was the guarantee, Mahomes is going to have however old he can get to keep playing in the league. That's however many Super Bowls he's going to have. That is a very small price, and you two are very selfish. That's all I'm going to say.
I don't give a shit how many antibiotics I have to take. I'm eating that poop.
Yeah, absolutely. Medicine's advanced so much. Give me ivermectin. That helps with eating horse shit, right?
There you go. And this is our clip of the week here.
Yeah, there you go.
Should we go to David's question?
I did read that. I didn't see those plays.
So
I mean,
the question that David brought up, I realize the Vikings game talk blah blah blah. Do you think it's about the Vikings game? Do you think the refs kind of made some bad calls, decisions that weren't reviewed? David, I hate being that guy. I feel that way every single week with this team. I feel like we are one team that the refs just purposely try to screw over, and nothing proves that more this week than the Justin Jefferson catch that should have been a huge bomb touchdown, and they called him out of bounds on like the 30 or whatever. And should have been a big touchdown. Should have. He wasn't out of bounds. And that's one of those deals where you leave it, you let the play keep going, let the guy score, and then you can review it after. You don't shut the play down and not give them a chance. You let the play go. You look at the review, he wasn't out of bounds. It was close, yes, but just terrible on their part. The other one that sticks out in my mind, well, I guess there's two that have stuck out in my mind. One, we say there's different rules for different quarterbacks, and that there's the rule if you're Mahomes, Allen, Brady, Rodgers, that you are very protected. Maybe not even Mahomes so much. I see Mahomes not treated quite as highly as the other ones. You can pull Kirk Cousins' face mask as much as you want, and you never get called on that. Happened again yesterday. Kirk Cousins tries to get out of the pocket, pulls his head over here. He gets away out of the pocket. No penalty called. So it happens every single game and never gets called. The other one was the Justin Jefferson catch that I believe was a first down. They reviewed it, said it wasn't a first down, said he was like a yard short. He wasn't even that short if he was. But again, I feel like the Vikings are every week, the refs are just trying to do something to them. And I don't know. I mean, I was it enough to turn the game? I don't know. We would have had more time on the clock if they wouldn't have screwed over that Justin Jefferson touchdown. So there's that. I don't know if that would have been enough to get us to win the game again. But yeah, it's the refs are awful this year, and it's not just them; it's every game. The Mike White situation, the Justin Herbert roughing the passer that wasn't even close. It's every game. It's just the NFL has a reffing problem this year. I think they had a reffing problem the last couple of years, actually. But yeah, it's pretty bad.
I'm trying to stray away from the refs being a reason, but there have been some pretty blatant non-calls in some games, and I mean, we just showed the evidence. Mike White getting just demolished, and then someone getting shoved down, the lightest shove down you could have, and that's roughing. You know?
Yeah. Yep. Yeah. It's just stupid. It does almost feel like the NFL has a script they have to follow at this point, but.
Well, don't get the sports conspiracists going out there, man, because there's a lot of people that bring out the stuff. Well, technically, the NFL is not a sports league; they're an entertainment league, like on their taxes. So that means they can rig game. It's like shut the fuck up. That's not what it is. But
hour 2, we are getting onto the QAnon website. Let's go, boys.
Yep.
Illuminati knows who's winning the Super Bowl the next 5 years.
Yep.
Exactly. Jay-Z and Beyonce and all those rich Elon, he knows who's winning the Super Bowl this year.
Yep. So I've never read the book, but it's very interesting. I'm not ever gonna read it, but what's the big entertainment street on that NBC's on? I can't remember.
Rockefeller?
Yeah. So there's like a book called the Rockefeller Group or Rockefeller Club or something like that. And it's a book about a group of people that just plan how the world is ran, basically. It's just crazy that there's people out there that think that there's a script for how basically we're the Sims. I mean, and we're controlled by this group of 10 people.
What we haven't told the audience yet, though, is that the Illuminati told us to start this podcast, so it really is all scripted.
Don't give away our secrets.
Yeah.
If we are the Sims, somebody is bored out of their mind watching my life.
All I know is I better not be swimming when they delete the ladder.
Trent went and worked Nuke Med for another 8 hours today.
And for entertainment, he watched Better Call Saul again, but no other new shows.
Oh, Trent went to bed at 8:00 again tonight.
And that's why you're not one of the 10 people of the Rockefeller group.
Nope. No. So.
No, fine.
All right, well, let's move on.
I'm going to assume with all the Twitter stuff and all the hatred that Elon's getting, he's probably not part of that either.
Well, you know what the Illuminati and all these people did set up? They did set up this Jags win beating the Titans 36-22. So there's no way this terrible Jags team can keep pulling out victories like this when we dismiss them every single week.
Yeah, this game was rigged by the Illuminati.
Agreed.
So Jaguars, they ain't going to win with their backup quarterback. And look what happens.
No, I mean,
Derrick Henry's going to run wild. Well, he did have a good game, but
I truly don't understand this Titans team. I have no clue what they are.
Both teams. I don't know what these teams. 5-8 Titans, and then, or I'm sorry, 5-8 Jags, and you have Trevor Lawrence go 30 for 42 for 368 yards and 3 touchdowns, and then you have 7-6 Titans that, and honestly, they might just be frauds. They might be the biggest choke artists out there because they're leading the Chiefs, lose that game. They're leading the Bengals, lose that team. Okay, well, you have two kind of prolific offenses. You understand? And then you got the Jags that have been shut down a lot this year, and then you allow Trevor Lawrence to throw for damn near 400 yards. What the hell is this team?
Guys, I think it's my fault. Like I kind of crapped on them beginning of the season, and then when they kept it close against Kansas City, I was like, oh, you know what? These guys might be real. So I've been betting on them since, and guess what? They aren't real. Like it's my fault. It's my fault.
So here are the Titans' wins this year. They're at 7 wins. They played the Raiders at home. Then they've beaten the Colts twice, a home and away. They won at the Commanders, at Texans, home versus the Broncos, and at Packers. Now, here are their losses. So, I mean, a couple okay teams. I think one playoff team in there maybe. Here's their losses. Giants, playoff team. Bills by 34 points.
Yeah, that was
playoff
a
team. Chiefs, playoff team. Bengals, playoff team. Eagles, playoff team. And Jags. I mean, and that's the third straight loss. So, I mean, this Titans team, we were talking about maybe they deserve to be in top 5. They might be bottom 5 for me now. Their wins are garbage, and their losses make them look even worse.
And they're still leading the division, right? Well, they're in a terrible division.
Yeah. Oh, you're leading the AFC South, boy. That's an accomplishment.
You're beating Jeff Saturday. Good work.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, let me see here. I just want to make sure. Yep, Titans 7-6. They're a 4 seed. They get to host the Bengals, so they'll lose that one. I mean, seeing the Titans get to host a game and the Bengals, Dolphins, and Chargers are behind them is a bad look. I guess it's the same thing as Tampa Bay right now, but I mean, at least they have Tom Brady. I mean, he didn't play wide receiver at Michigan.
Well, hey, let's move over to that conference. Let's go to the Panthers game here. Like, that conference is just funny. So first off, the Panthers have gotten better since Matt Rule has been that and Baker gone and CMC gone. They've gotten better.
Robbie Anderson,
yeah. They got rid of arguably their best players at 3 positions, and they're better.
Mm-hmm.
Trim the fat, dude.
Yeah.
But they're 5-8 or 5-7, and they're second in the division now.
Yeah, I think they just passed the Falcons.
They're 5-8. The Tampa Bay Brady's are 6-7. So no team over 500, and they're 1 game out. I mean, that's just. I want to play them in the first round. Whoever the wild card team is that's playing them, they're licking their chops right now.
Oh, that's disgusting. Sorry, I'm looking at why did they say he was the top receiver? Oh my Lord. So Sam Darnold passed for 120 yards. His receivers, 4 catches for 31 yards, 3 for 25, 1 for 18, 2 for 17, 1 for 17, 2 for 11. That is disgusting. But we've been talking about, you can't say it's fine that the Niners do it, just dink and dunk football and win games if and the Panthers are able to do it as well. It just, I would have thought that if you're going to score 30 points and beat the Seahawks, you'd have had to pass for more than 120 yards.
That's a quality win over them.
That's what I was going to say. He threw for 120 yards, and they scored 30 points.
That's nuts. That's a quality win. I mean, I think the Seahawks are an okay team. I don't think they're bad. They've got the Steelers next, the Lions next, the Buccaneers next, and the Saints next. I mean, they could probably win 2 out of those next 4, maybe.
Yeah, you never know, man. With this positive momentum they got going, and like you said, of all those teams, I mean, is anyone like for sure it's a loss? I mean, how many underdogs have we seen win this year in the NFL? I don't even know if there's any, unless it's like the Eagles right now. I think every team's beatable.
Yeah, and I still think the Eagles are. I think it's out. I think people know how to beat them. It's just they're not doing it. But playoff time might be different. I don't know. But yeah,
that's when defenses show up, and that's where offenses dwindle. So
yeah. Yep.
Well, we'll move back to the AFC West here for Bryant. The Chargers, they get a win over Miami, 23-17.
Yeah, we're finally starting to see what this team can be now that they're starting to get a little healthier. They got Keenan Allen and Mike Williams back. Eckler's just got that dog in him. Herbert, he's not a social media quarterback. He's just a normal quarterback in the league. And, I mean, you can see what this team can do. And the Dolphins have kind of tempered off a little bit compared to the high-flying offense. I believe, did Tua get injured, or was that Hill that got injured in the game?
Tyreek got injured.
Hill did.
Tyreek still led the team.
He's just kind of banged up, they said today, with just ankle bumps and bruises, so nothing big.
That kind of happened last year. There'd just be random times where he'd be injured and just out for extended periods of time. But, once he's out of the offense, then he can double team Waddle and Gesicki. I apologize. I can't remember what the tight end's name is. And Gesicki, the running backs apparently couldn't get enough pressure off of Tua to, create it. So I don't know, man. I mean, this is the Chargers we expected all year, and with their injuries, they have dropped 6 games, but, I mean, they're starting to look like playoff contenders now.
Yeah,
I think Tua's kind of starting to come down to earth too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Tyreek's 57-yard fumble recovery for a touchdown was pretty awesome.
That was pretty cool.
Yeah.
Just amazing when he's out in the open field, like he gets that ball and out in the open field by himself. It just shows how fast he is. It's crazy.
Yeah, dude. I mean, I always love the angle of when you see one guy is just that much faster and the pulling away in a 80-yard sprint or whatever it ends up being.
If you're that much faster and pulling away like that, you should not get penalized for turning around and giving the guy the peace sign.
I agree.
This is just my opinion.
I mean, because again, all you have to do is be faster than me. Oh, wait, I've worked my ass off my whole life, and I'm the fastest guy in this fucking league. Deuces. I agree with that.
Yeah.
Because guess what? When a defense is kicking your ass in the Super Bowl, and then Anthony Winfield, I believe, throws the deuces at you, it hurts that much worse. So you should be able to talk shit so people can talk shit back to you with that same exact celebration.
Yeah. Now, if that were me, I'd do it every time. I'd get the penalty. Don't care.
Get the fine.
If me as well, Trent. If I ran a 4.2, I would do whatever the hell I wanted because I can run a 4.2 at that point.
It's right. That is right.
So, yeah, Chargers are getting hot at the right time as well. I don't know if that's going to be enough to get them solid placement in the playoffs. I think they're the 7th seed right now, which that would mean they're going to Arrowhead right now. So, I wouldn't of all the teams right now.
Played tough earlier.
Yeah, exactly. Play tough earlier, but I guess honestly, the Chargers will always play well versus the Chiefs, and the Chiefs just score 3 more points every time. So I mean, I'd be okay with playing them, but
don't bet a spread over 3.
Yeah, and with the Chargers, you mentioned them about the playoffs and their seeding and stuff. It's just for them to get the playoffs is good. I mean, they're in a division with the Chiefs, who are going to win 13 games a year. So getting to the playoffs is good. It's not like they're in the AFC South where, We went over this. They don't have to be that good, you know.
Well, they lost to the Jags earlier this year without Herbert, but they still lost to the Jags. So who knows, man?
They're done. Kick him out. If you lose to the Jag, kick him out of the playoffs.
Done.
You don't deserve
Relegate them. We'll figure someone out. USC, you're back up.
I was just thinking about that yesterday. How fun would it be if the NFL had a relegation? Whoever loses has to go down to the XFL, and the best XFL team comes up. That'd be so fun.
Yeah, let's get those St. Louis Battlehawks in here. Get used out of that stadium the city's still paying for.
Yeah, I'm more of a San Antonio Brahma myself, you know.
Oh, yeah. Who's ready for USFL? I always see these commercials thinking the game's back on, but it's just a commercial.
I couldn't believe that they're getting a second season.
The Maulers probably going to win every game.
We're the gamblers.
Did they pick up a team? There's a new team, right? In the USFL, did I see this?
I'm going to their website right now.
Is it like Memphis or something?
Oh, yeah. I see something about
They're
Memphis.
the Los Angeles Dwayne Johnsons.
Yep. The Memphis Showboats.
So did a team get kicked out or what? Because there's still an even amount of teams.
So the teams right now in the XFL are the Arlington Renegades, which is coached by Bob Stoops.
Yeah.
The DC Defenders, that's the same one. Houston Roughnecks by Wade Phillips. The Orlando Guardians. San Antonio Brahmas coached by Heinz Ward. That's pretty neat. The Seattle Sea Dragons. The St. Louis Battlehawks. And the Vegas Vipers. Hey, Trent, do you like Sea Dragons?
The Sea Dragons. It's kind of a cool name.
No, but do you like Sea Dragons?
Oh,
sure, yes.
You see me dragging these nuts on your face. Oh! I got this so good.
The Tampa Bay Bandits are turning into the Showboats and will be coached by Todd Haley.
So did anybody in our USFL draft pick the Bandits? Was that anybody's team?
We're talking XFL.
No, USFL. Where's what Ryan and I are talking about?
Oh, I was talking XFL. Jesus,
USFL got a new
alternate
team.
Leagues.
Yeah, USFL got a new team. So if it's one of our teams, then somebody's got to switch.
I will switch right now. I'll be a Memphis Showboater.
Me too.
Let me know that. Let me know that illegal site you got the Pittsburgh Mauler shirt, because that looks pretty legit.
My Mauler shirt is legit.
What color are the Memphis Showboats?
Probably better than purple and orange.
I think they're blue and yellow. They look like Michigan.
They're gray and red. God, they look like
Ooh, the Showboats?
Yeah, the Memphis Showboats. I'm looking at them right now.
I thought I was too.
I'll share the screen here, but it looks like
I don't know
Ohio State colors. Oh, do you think they're trying to replicate looking like winners like Iowa did with the Steelers back in the day, except they're looking like Ohio State real winners?
You might be looking at the original one. So apparently they were back when the USFL first started. Yeah, I think that's the old one. Yeah, there's the new one.
Yeah,
I do like that blue and yellow logo. That is pretty
Who are they? The fucking Toledo Rockets?
Yeah.
That's what they look like. Which is not a bad thing.
I like that.
Yeah, I like that actually better than the stupid pinwheel there.
Yeah, I would totally.
Oh no, we need this one. You see this one? See the actual steamboat with the football?
That's pretty sweet.
Yeah, that's the only one that I've liked. Otherwise, yeah, give me the new steamboat, Showboats or whatever.
So I do have power rankings up here. Are we giving our USFL mascot power rankings?
Well, I'm done with USFL. Even during the season, I'm done with it already.
They're not playing all their games in Birmingham this year.
We lost interest at halftime of the first game, I feel like, last year.
I am way more interested in a league like the XFL that gives us 3-point conversions and are trying to change the game up a little bit. This isn't NFL. We're trying to get as many points and we're trying different rules rather than.
I picked the Brahmas as my team.
Okay, that's fine. I don't care. I just don't care about this whole league. XFL, yes. USFL, just dookie.
Well, Brown was our XFL. Now we're on the XFL.
XFL, I'm a battle hawk all the way.
Okay, good. I don't have to fight you. You might have to fight Clark though. Is that St. Louis?
Yeah.
Yeah, you're gonna have to fight Clark on that.
I was a battle hawk fan before COVID. I was talking about going to the game, and then old little global pandemic hit, and I couldn't go to a minor league football game. It sucked.
That old thing.
That whole chestnut. So
That's
power
still going on.
rankings. Right? I'm just gonna go with power rankings.
Power rankings. Well, let's
I'm
do
the same
this.
as you, Bryant.
Wow, we are the exact same. Should we go first then?
Go ahead.
Let's alternate picks.
Okay, who's your number one?
I have Eagles. Who's your number two?
I got the Chiefs.
Ooh, solid.
Number
solid.
3.
I got the Niners there.
Okay.
Yeah. How about your number 4?
I went with the Bengals.
Yep, Joe Burrow and the Bengals, solid. And then number 5.
Your number 5?
Oh, my number 5. Let's say number 5 at the same time. It
All right.
is the
Bills.
Buffalo Bill. Oh shit, we fucked that one. It's the Bills.
I was gonna have the Cowboys at 5, and then I just remember they almost lost to the Houston.
Yeah.
And so
sorry, that'll take you down a couple pegs for at least a week or so.
Yeah. So I have the Eagles and Chiefs as 1 and 2, so same as you guys. I still have the Cowboys at 3. Yeah, they almost lost to Houston, but they're still capable of just beating the crap out of anybody. Bills at 4. I still think they're really good. Yep. And the 49ers at 5. Let's go back and forth between them and a couple other teams. The Vikings being one of them. But, the Vikings, they hang close in every game, but that's dangerous as we saw this week. So 49ers in a 5.
The Vikings will be back in my top 5 next week if they win against Indianapolis by more than 10.
Yes, and if they don't, that is very scary because, like, again, not that the Colts don't have solid pieces, but they've lost their coach. They have an aging Matt Ryan, and they can play within single digits. That's not a good sign. I mean, and I'm saying as a Chiefs fan that lost to the Colts earlier this year. That's not a good sign. That's why I don't got them number 1. I still linger about how we can play so many games so well. We can beat the shit out of the 49ers 40 points, and then we lose to the Colts. So, I mean, it's just it makes no sense. And then, do you mind if I just read Joey's?
Go ahead.
Joey had number 1, Chiefs, solid. Appreciate you. Number 2, Bills. Number 3, Cowboys. Number 4, Eagles. Number 5, Bengals. So we kind of got a rough, idea. I'm surprised he doesn't have the 49ers. I think Purdy starting for a quarterback held him back because between the Niners basically being the pro level of the Iowa Hawkeyes with an Iowa tight end, I don't know how the Niners ain't number at least 5 on his list. So
I need him to show his work as to why the Eagles are 4. I mean, I needed him to show it. At least doesn't have Miami as number 1 anymore, but I need him to show his work on that one.
Hey, I mean, he said Miami was number 1, and they played some solid games at that point. So he has to, at least you got to admit he's changing it accordingly. I don't get it, but he has Chiefs at number 1, so I don't care.
Brian's like, looks good to me.
Yeah, solid overall top 5 there.
Joey's power rankings are the official power rankings of the Pulse of the Heartland, according to Bryant.
Clark doesn't have his, but I can only assume 1 is Cincinnati, 2 is Los Angeles Rams, 3 is Denver Broncos, 4 is Los Angeles Chargers, and 5 the Raiders. That's my guess.
I would say for Clark, Rams number 1 because he hates them the most because they moved out of Missouri. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Anybody else got anything to add here before we put a bow on this thing and wrap it up?
Did you put something for movie minute there, Brian?
Oh,
yeah.
I put in. I would say the only thing I put in there, I can't find a really good photo of the movie poster, but the upcoming film Oppenheimer is it's about Oppenheimer who creates the nuclear bomb. Christopher Nolan just being his crazy self, and he does. I mean, he makes fantastic movies. Everything else is CGI. Marvel is 90% CGI now. Christopher Nolan is he made a real nuke, and he blew it up and filmed it.
Yeah.
This is the same guy that this is not a crazy idea, but I think it's funny. They bought the land in Interstellar and then actually grew the crops so that he could film real crops getting run over, and then sells it for profit. I mean, this guy, I mean, he's awesome. He's probably, if he's not the
He's
top director, he's up there.
he is absolutely my favorite director because he does he's different. He doesn't do the same. I mean, even his superhero movies with Batman were different. But you watch Tenet, which Tenet, not one of my more favorite movies, but it was still, I still enjoyed it. But like Inception, God, just such different movies. He's such a talented director and writer.
I agree. So, nope, I've been seeing previews for it, and this is kind of like if we're ever going to have a dream team of a cast in movies. It is these like in game. They have so many great actors that are going to be in this film, so I'm pretty excited for it.
Yeah, I'm looking up now. You got Cillian Murphy, Robert Downey Jr., Matt Damon, Rami Malek, Emily Blunt, Josh Hartnett, Ben Affleck is going to be. Gary Oldman is in it. Yeah, it's looks like it's going to be awesome. Oh,
Matt Damon.
Josh Peck is going to be in there.
Oh yeah, I did hear that one. That's where it's like, okay, now we've gone too far. We're throwing Josh Peck in there in the all-star lineup.
Casey Affleck's going to be in there too.
Yeah.
This Sunday, we've got tickets for Avatar 2 3D.
Nice.
So I'll have a review for that next week.
If I got nothing going on, I'll go to that again. But I'm not going to watch the other movie because I think it's a waste of time. But I think that's where it's got how well is this going to stand? And also in that movie, when they've asked like, "Hey, when can we take a bathroom break in this movie? I don't want to miss anything." And who's the director for it again?
James Cameron.
James Cameron. I think he very cockily said, you can go to you can take your bathroom break at any time because you're going to watch it again anyways in theaters." So
yeah,
I like that little bit of cockiness. I don't think I'll watch it more than once, but
I saw Avatar 1 in theater twice. Now this one's like 3 hours and 15 minutes. I am not going to go to it twice. That's too long. But like the first one, I told my wife I will go to the movie myself to see it in 3D if you guys aren't wanting to go to 3D, because the first one in 3D was the only movie, in my opinion, that was ever worth seeing in 3D, and I feel like this one is gonna up it big time.
So a lot of Marvel movies I don't think have been worth really seeing in 3D. Oddly enough, the two movies I can think of off the top of my head, yes, you needed to see in 3D was one, Avatar 1. When you went in theaters, it was such a new experience, and you could see it in 3D, and holy crap. And we thought that was they started making 3D TVs because of Avatar 1. The second movie that had some of the best 3D was Jackass 3D. I still remember sitting there in awe when the porta pot is flying into the air and little dog turds are flying, and you're like, oh my god, it's like they're right at me. That was the second best 3D, and everything else is tied for third. I can't remember anything that needed in 3D.
What is funny to me is the only movie that my wife has gone to in the theater in 3D was Jackass in 3D, and she said it was awesome. And so like I brag up, and she's like, well, that was awesome in 3D. I'm just like, oh, come on. Like,
so
apparently it's true.
The only movie I've been to in theaters in 3D was at the IMAX in Wichita. Remember that gigantic? Isn't it the biggest IMAX in North America, right?
Yeah, North America.
Yeah, so we went to it was called Metallica Through the Never. It was basically a Metallica concert with like a little side story, and it was 3D. It was amazing in that gigantic IMAX theater. Like you're at a Metallica show. It was pretty sweet.
The one that I saw, because IMAX sometimes that's too much screen for you, you know, especially depending on where you sit in the, like, it's kind of like if you've ever seen a 3D movie and you're too far to the left or right in the theater. I mean, this is back in the day when you couldn't just reserve your seat. You had to be there 45 minutes early, or you were getting seats that were left. I remember seeing the last Harry Potter movie in 3D, and I was sitting in the far left corner, and I had such a headache at the end because you're trying to see in 3D from the very far left side of the screen. It just wasn't worth it.
So I remember we went to the Dark Knight Rises at the IMAX in Wichita. And
Yeah.
so the theater in Wichita, I can't remember how many screens. It was a pretty big theater, but the IMAX is gigantic and it's on the far left side if you're facing the building. And when we went to get tickets for the Dark Knight Rises, this was before you could pre-buy them. The line was all the way through the building and going around the front. So we were in this huge line. I'm like, oh shit, we're gonna be right in front of the screen. We were still dead middle of the theater. Like that's how huge the theater is you're lined up that far outside and you're still dead in the middle. Like it's gigantic.
Yeah, we like
gigantic.
Roughly did the math like by counting seats and then rows and stuff. Like we roughly did the math of like 900 seats in this theater.
Yeah. In Wichita, insane. Kansas, you would never think, but it was incredible.
Speaking of movies, before they cut off, are you guys watching the Manning Cast real quick?
No.
Mm-hmm.
So if you do, or if you can turn to it quick, they have Adam Vinatieri on there. He looks exactly like Matt Damon, in my opinion, right now. Matt Damon.
Where'd Adam Vinatieri go to college?
I know.
Ryan.
I know.
Come on, Brian. Okay, Brian. Knows.
Tennessee. I have no clue.
My South Dakota State Jackrabbits.
Damn it! I should have known something like that. I usually, if this was Bryant from 2012 to 14, when I had all the time in the world to watch ESPN and play NCAA football and Madden stuff, you could name me any player and I could probably tell you their college and shit. Like, and I think a lot of guys can do that as well. But I always felt like I was one of the better guys at it.
Fun fact: him and I were born in the same hospital.
Yeah.
On the same day.
A few different years. Few years separating us.
My preceptor in Nuke Med Clinical's husband was the long snapper for Adam Vinatieri at South Dakota State. Yeah.
Yeah. Nice. That's cool.
Yeah.
Seems like a great guy.
Yeah. I mean, Pat McAfee was his holder, so.
That's the only reason he got as successful as he was. It wasn't anything in New England either.
Yeah, he'd probably been a scrub without Pat.
Yeah. I mean, Tom would have a couple less rings without Vinatieri. Let's be real.
100%.
Yeah.
So, all right. Well, now we can put a bow on this thing. Just want to thank everybody for following along, listening. David's been very active in the chat.
Thanks, David.
Come on, everybody else. Geez.
Pick it up.
Yeah.
Be more like David.
David is picking up the slack for everybody. But Brian, hit him with them socials.
Well, if you're watching online, you can see at the bottom here. But if you're not, say the Twitter, Instagram, and now Twitch is going to be Heartland Pulse, and then YouTube and Facebook are just going to be Pulse of the Heartland. And also with Uncle Joe's thoughts on Fridays, we're gonna have a little bit more of a set schedule with our in the zone studio stuff. So again, that's inthezone.studio for the actual website, and then on Twitter for them it's going to be in the zone 1, in the zone media 1. Correct?
Yep. And go check out A Wager a Day. Go do that.
Wager a Day keeps the doctor away.
That's right. And Wednesday. Check it out before Wednesday, maybe after Wednesday. Get all of our Road to 272 picks. Take my picks.
Please.
You go to Wager a Day, make yourself some money, and then on Thursday, tune in for Amateur Hour. Everything at 8:30 Central Time, not Mountain Time like Ryan.
Is always Central Time. Central Time is the center of the universe.
That's right.
I apologize that I like scenery in my life, guys.
Well, you know what is the better trade-off is coming to a normal time zone.
You know, the humidity and the bugs. Yeah, that's a great trade-off.
I just like
I
the
live indoors.
We
have air conditioning.
I appreciate you all for listening.
Catch you later.
See you.